okay? I was asked to share my story yesterday, so I put it in my phone because, like I said, I'm really nervous. And it's an emotional story. I am a diamond coach. This business has blessed my family financially, but for me, it's more so been physically and mentally. And I'll tell you why. When I was a teenager, I was diagnosed with anorexia, body dysmorphic disorder, depression, anxiety, and ADHD. I would go a whole day without eating, or I would chew and spit to subdue a craving. I hated myself so much, I tried to commit suicide twice. I would go to see a psychologist, and I was prescribed many medications, which I thought at the time was a cure. Now I realize it was a suppressant and not a solution. Fast forward to about 3.5 years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom of a toddler and a newborn son. My husband, my fiance at the time, was a bartender, and he worked long hours and late nights. So I was left to take care of the children and the housework by myself. I felt so alone in what was supposed to be the happiest time in my life. I would drown my depression in carbs and sugar, pasta, bread, cake, pizza, you name it, I ate it, every day. I gained 60 pounds with my last pregnancy, and I hated the way I looked so much. I would rarely leave the house in fear of being seen by somebody I knew. None of my clothes fit, so I wore my husband's shirts and basketball shorts. We didn't have money to buy new clothes. In fact, we were living on government assistance. I was completely exhausted, physically and emotionally, and I would cry every day. The kids would cry, and I would cry, and we would sit and cry together most days. I knew that I had become severely depressed again, and because of my children, I couldn't fall back to how I was when I was a teenager. One day, my sister, 6-star diamond Morgan Alexis, came over for dinner, and she looked amazing. She had just had a baby a couple months before I did, and she looked better than before she was pregnant. When I asked her how she lost the weight, she said Shakeology and Chalene Extreme. So I signed as a discount coach right away and started drinking Shakeology. But I swore to her I didn't have the energy to work out, and at the time we didn't have challenge packs yet, so I couldn't afford the extra money to pay for a program that I didn't have the energy to use. So after a couple weeks of drinking Shakeology, I had lost 8 pounds, gained so much energy, and I was ready to start working out. But I didn't have the money to buy a program yet. My sister surprised me with Chalene Extreme. And I was so excited to do my first workout, but afterwards I couldn't move my legs for 5 days, and my laughter hurt so bad. I started to notice the success my sister was having. I continued to work out, but I never worked my business. We were still on food stamps, and she was able to buy whatever she wanted for her family. At the time I was working 2 jobs, my fiance was still bartending, and we barely saw our kids or each other. So I made a decision to work my business, and I'm so glad I did. Since then, we were able to get married. We paid for our wedding in cash. My husband was able to quit his job, attend and graduate college. I was able to quit one job, and now I only work 30 hours a week at the other. And we were able to buy not 1, but 2 cars that my money from my coaching income pays for monthly. We went on our first family vacation in 3 years. But most of all, I am no longer depressed. I have self-esteem and confidence that I had never had before, and I had the appetite of a teenage boy, and I do whatever I want. One of the amazing things about this business is anybody can be successful if they put in the work. You will not only see a change in yourself externally, but also internally, while helping others achieve their goals too. These days, I still go to therapy daily, but my therapists are Sean T., Tony Horton, and Shalene Johnson, and I feel better than ever.